Welcome to the NLP Talks podcast, bringing you inspirational stories along with a good dose of potentially life-changing NLP strategies. I'm Laura Evans, multi-award-winning NLP trainer, and I'm on a mission to help you unleash your potential in business and life. I'm so glad you're here. Pull up a chair, listen in, and let's get started on revealing more about this transformational NLP toolkit. I hope you're safe and well. Pull up a chair, ready for the next episode of the NLP Talks podcast with me, of course, Laura Evans. Now, if you heard the last episode, you will realise that we're in the middle of a podcast takeover by me. So we're in the middle of talking about getting the inside track to building your successful people helping business with confidence. So although you might be following this podcast because you know me for NLP, I have a second business where I coach and mentor business owners in the people helping industry. It's called Laura Evans Coaching and Mentoring Limited. And in this series, I'm helping you to start and build your business with more confidence. Now, in the last episode, we were looking at, is coaching really for you? Now, as I said in the last episode, you could substitute coaching with the word therapy or training, depending on what people helping business you're building. And today in this episode, we're going to take things one step further, because this is something I see repeatedly. Talented, well-trained, passionate people struggling financially. Why? Because qualifications don't pay the bills. Now, before you switch off thinking I'm dismissing training, I'm really not. Training matters, and quality training in different modalities matters even more. But investing in modalities and skills to help other people is not the same thing as building a business. And hence, qualifications don't pay the bills. So let's crack on and start by having a look at the qualification comfort zone. What is the qualification comfort zone? Thing is, when you attend a training being run by someone else, the learning is structured. It's predictable. You get feedback. Someone tells you if you're doing well. You get a certificate. And if you're a master practitioner and you know about values level thinking, that's great for values level 4 people. You get validation because you're in an environment of like-minded people. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Qualifications build competence, yes, but revenue or income into a business or into your pocket requires visibility and sales. And those are very different skill sets. You can become highly skilled in any modality, NLP or any other, and still be invisible. The problem is, if you are invisible, you are not going to generate an income because no one knows you're there. No one knows who you are able to help. No one knows the ways in which you can help. No one knows the problems which you are helping people to solve. No one knows the people that you've helped in the past, otherwise known as social proof, testimonials. No one is able to reach out to you because they don't know how to. You need to let people know that you're available to hire. And using the metaphor of a taxi. So if you were in the local town or city where you live, and you maybe had a lovely evening out, a meal or with friends or something, and you needed to get a taxi home, would you flag down a taxi that didn't have the light on? No, because you'd assume they were busy. They'd already got customers in the taxi. And so you don't stand there and stick your hand out for a taxi that doesn't have its light on because you assume that they're not available. You see, the thing is this. Have you let the world know that your, inverted commas, taxi light is on? Have you let the world know that you are available for hire, that you have services which could help people, and have you been clear on who you're looking to help and how you're looking to help people? And this metaphor of is the taxi light on is really key in terms of helping you get out of the qualifications comfort zone and into the business zone. zone of letting people know that you are available to hire, to engage, to work with, and that's what's going to lead to you generating an income. You see, the marketplace rewards people that are the most visible, that are the most trusted, and that are the most clearly positioned to help. This doesn't mean that you've got to be loud. It doesn't mean you've got to be pushy, but it does mean that people need to understand what you do. They need to know who your services are for. They need to know, like, and trust you, and they need to see you show up consistently. That's business. That's not another modality. You see, if you don't turn up consistently, people are not going to give you £500, £1,000 for coaching because they worry you're going to run off with their money. If they don't know, like, and trust you, then they're not sure that you're the right person to help them, or that they think you'll be what they need, whether that's a supportive or challenging coach. They need to know who you're there to help. And it's one of the big mistakes I see lots of people make in the people helping industry. They try to help everybody and then end up helping no one because their offer is not clear. Then it's not clear who they want to work with or who they are skilled at helping. Just imagine we were down the pub, okay, and we were chatting over a drink, and you told me that you had a particular problem or challenge in your life. Let's say you'd gone for a promotion at work and you hadn't got it, and you really wanted some support to help you to think about what you want to do next with your career, what job you want to do, whether you want to stay where you are. And you say to me, do you know anybody that could help me? Now, I've trained almost 1,000 NLP practitioners during my training career in my NLP business, Unleash Your Potential. And I now sit there listening to you in the pub, thinking to myself, who do I know that could help you? This is what your clients and potential clients are doing every single day. The thing is this, you'll be posting on social media, you're becoming visible. Let's say there's lots of ways you can become visible, podcasting, YouTubing, and all of that. And, I provide expertise and training and all of these things because they all work. But I've got to know who to send to you. Let me give you a real life example. Last year we had a parent of a child contact us, and she said she came through the Unleash Your Potential business. I know you do NLP training, and I wonder if you could put me in touch with one of your students who works with teenagers. So I'm sat there going, well, okay, who have I trained that I think is competent, capable, will be able to deal with this particular child's problem? They'd given us a little summary of it. And then I thought, I know exactly who would be the right person for that. And so we can put them in touch. Now, all right, you haven't got a training business necessarily and lots of students you could refer people to. However, the point is still the same, which is that people need to be clear about who you stand for and who to send to you. I always say to people, when you decline a client, as in you say, I'm not the right coach to help you, and words to that effect, you want to leave the client's ego intact because you don't know who else they know, that maybe they're down the pub having a conversation with somebody and they go, oh, you know that Laura Evans, she couldn't help me, but she might be able to help you. Why don't you give her a call? That's how you want to leave people. Here's another tip that I've learned over the years is ideal customers know other ideal customers. So again, it's about making sure that everything is clear, that you are visible, consistent, and people know what you stand for. Now, we'll talk more about ideal customers in the next episode. However, this is all really, really interesting. Now, if you're an existing coach or people helper who is currently not getting the kinds of sales and income that you're looking for, I wonder if this internal dialogue sounds familiar. I'm not getting clients, so I must not be good enough. Has that thought ever gone through your head? Because I know in the early days, for a lot of coaches, therapists, and people helpers, this is absolutely internal dialogue that goes through their head. So what do people do in this situation? They book another course. It's obviously because I'm not good enough. I'm not skilled enough. I haven't got the right modality. Maybe someone has come to you and said, oh, I'm looking for a hypnotherapist. And you're like, sorry, I don't do hypnotherapy. And all of a sudden, the sale is lost, well, at least in your eyes. However, what you want to be doing is asking more questions of the client or potential client at this stage about what is their problem? How is this getting in the way? And what is it that they would like to be different? And then work out whether you are trained in a modality that might help. And if you're not, then of course refer them on to someone else that you know. However, it might be that you are good enough. It might be that you do have the ability to be able to help them. And the problem is, you see, this trap that I see people fall in is just another course, just another course. It's a temporary fix. It makes you feel better. But 3 months later, guess what? You're now trained in another modality and still got no clients. Because the issue was never competence. The issue was positioning, the fact that perhaps you hadn't got clarity on that you weren't doing great marketing, and perhaps weren't confident in having a sales conversation with a prospective client. I remember being told years ago by another mentor of mine that people don't like to be sold to, but they love the opportunity to buy. And as soon as you start to reframe sales in your head in this way, you start to uncover a little golden gem, which is your job is to make it easy for people to buy from you. It is your job to help them work out whether or not you're the right person to help them, and if you are, to make it easy to buy from you. You see, here's something that I learned many years ago from another mentor is, and now don't quote me on this, you'll have to go and Google this yourself and find out, but this is what I was told. The word sales actually comes from an ancient word called selio, which means to serve. And again, if you reframe sales in your head as in to serve, all of a sudden having these sales conversations starts to become that little bit easier. Business skills feels daunting, it feels exposing, it feels vulnerable when you step into the space of going, actually, there's some stuff here that I just don't know how to do. I don't know how to set up a website. I don't know how to set up a podcast. And there requires a vulnerability to admitting that you can't or don't understand how to do something. But if you stay in this trap of one more qualification, you're never going to get out of that trap and actually start to become visible, to be seen, and to deal with any of the mindset blocks that are currently keeping you stuck. Let's simplify this. So let's say there are 4 things that generate revenue into a coaching or people helping business. Number 1, you need clear positioning. You need to be clear on who you help and how you help them. Number 2, you need consistent visibility. You need to be showing up in multiple places so that people have the opportunity to stumble across you and to find you. Number 3, you need compelling offers and packages to be able to show people what it is that you offer and are able to do. And number 4, you need to be confident in having sales conversations. And if you're listening to this and you can feel the heckles on the back of your neck going up, going, oh my goodness, Laura, I know what you're saying is right, but I just don't know how, then this is leading you to the big development opportunity that's sat right here at your feet. Yes, you love helping people. Yes, you're passionate about making a difference. And unless you get out of your own way and get your business education, you are going to continue to stay stuck, and you're going to continue to not have the revenue and income that you want. Now, at some point, you have to make the shift in your mind from I'm training to become a coach, or I'm training to become a therapist, or I'm training to become a trainer, to the mindset of I am building a insert whatever business. I'm building a coaching business. I'm building a therapy business, because these things don't shift overnight. You don't just wake up one morning going, well, yesterday I finished my NLP practitioner course and today I'm running a business and I've got clients kind of coming out my ears. It doesn't work like that. You have to work at building a business. What we need to do is to get you to step into being a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you would like to call yourself, and step out from behind that pile of qualifications which you have and get yourself into a place to be seen, to be visible, and to make a difference. You see, when I talk to people about a lack of income, a lot of the time the question is, Laura, what should I charge? I'm not charging enough. How much should I charge? Maybe I'm charging too much and the customers are not coming. You see, people go to price rather than considering what leads to a sale taking place in the first place. I say on our training Inside Track that a lot of people think that their ideal customers are price sensitive. Okay, I learned this lesson a long time ago. Let me tell you, I've tested this and tested this and tested this. And I can tell you that within both of my businesses, people are not sensitive to price. They're sensitive to value. It's all about perception. Okay, so let me give you an example. If I said to you, you could come and have a coaching session with me, and you knew my background, my expertise, the track record I have helping people build successful businesses in this space, and you knew all of that about me, and I said you could come and have a session for me for £20, would you think that's great value? I'd like to think so, right? And you'd probably snap my hand off and go, oh my goodness, Laura, I get to spend an hour with you one-to-one for £20. That's great value, right? If I told you that you could come and spend an hour with me and my rate was £5,000, it's not. But if it was, that's a much more considered purchase. And I have to convince you of the value which I could give you in that session. Take a holiday, for example. You find a holiday online that's £500. Oh, that's great value. It's a 4-star hotel, breakfasts are included. It's in a great location. Yeah, that sounds great. Listen to your own style of buying, right? Whereas if it was £500 and it turned out to be one night, not 7 days, and it ended up being like a 2-star hotel and it was in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do, you'd go, oh, it might well be cheap at £500, but I ain't buying it because it's not good value. So I would ask you to consider, if you're in a place at the moment that says, I don't have the income I want, I would rather you start to think about some of the concepts in this podcast episode. And if you want to start to think about price, reframe, it's not, this is what it costs you. This is the investment which you're making in your future success. Or if you're in NLP trained, you'll know about future pacing. What happens a year from now, 5 or 10 years from now, if you don't take the action? Or what happens 1, 5 or 10 years from now if you do take the action? How much better might your life be? Where might you be? Who? And so forth. If you're NLP trained, you'll know all about that kind of stuff. And if you're not, it doesn't matter. Hopefully that little introduction there gives you a starting point. But it's really not about price. It's about value. And value is not just the value of the component parts or features of a particular coaching package you might be selling. It's also about your USPs. It's about your unique selling points. The value comes from you. As I say to clients quite often in my coaching business, you won't get Laura Evans anywhere else. If you want my unique blend of experience and training and all of those things, you won't get me anywhere else. And people have said, oh yes, but I could get a business coach down the road for cheaper. Yeah, you absolutely could. I'm confident of it. But the question is, would that be a good investment in your business education? What will the return be on that? How much experience has that person got? These are the same kinds of questions that your potential clients are going to be thinking about working with you. So when I titled this episode around qualifications not paying the bills, I hope what I've done here today is helped you start to challenge some of your thinking. It's not another certification or modality that you necessarily need. It's about a structure. It's about becoming visible. It's about investing in your business education. And it's these things that will start to build your confidence. Now, if you're listening and thinking, I've invested in the modalities, Laura. I've got so many modalities that I have learned, but I know I've avoided the business side. That's okay, right? Awareness is powerful. Go back and listen to the previous episode and download the ebook that I created or the little quiz I created about, is coaching really for you? And ask yourself honestly, am I building skill? Or am I building a business? If you want support building this business properly, then go and explore what we do inside the Confident Coach Business Academy. Go across to the website, thelauraevans.co.uk, find the Confident Coach Business Academy and have a look at the program Inside Track. It's where I encourage all of the students in my NLP training business to start. And although it might be NLP based, it will work for any modality. Let me tell you, lots of different people have been through that program and have got huge value out of it. So here's the real question. If qualifications don't pay the bills, what actually does? Well, in the next episode, we're shifting gears. We're moving from highlighting the common traps to designing your business properly. Before you post on social media, before you build your website, and before you announce to the world that your business is open. You need architecture, you need a structure, and you need to design this business intentionally. In the next episode, I'll walk you through the foundations of building your coaching business before the doors even open. And I'll be sharing a simple roadmap PDF to help you to think this through properly. Because confidence doesn't come from hoping it's going to work. It comes from building it properly. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast and I'll see you in the next episode.